Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. So, as a YouTuber, like you might imagine, I enjoy watching YouTube. Some of my favorites are Sam the Cooking Guy. Makes fantastic recipes and he's entertaining, and that's what we're sort of shooting for here, to entertain you as we're giving you great ideas for food and maybe a little bit of information. Maybe information you never use, like the population of Burma, but you know, we try and educate a little bit too. Chef Tom from All Things Barbecue, the Sauce channel, makes incredible recipes, mostly on a Yoder smoker, which is the type that we have. Rhubarb and cod. Susan makes the most incredible things and makes it look easy and has incredible shots and cinematography. Enjoy that. Well, another one that I watch, Silly Kitchen with Sylvia, I enjoy watching because Sylvia has a ton of energy and it just projects right through the screen, and she makes some interesting things. She inspired today's dish. So, previously, Greg and I did a joint episode where he made the ultimate grilled cheese sandwich and I made creamy basil tomato soup. The family loved it, came out great. So today, we're going back to the grilled cheese, and maybe this isn't the ultimate grilled cheese, but it's going to be a pretty damn good grilled cheese. So I'm going to make two different sandwiches for you today, and they do have some common ingredients. Number one, sourdough bread. Absolutely love the sourdough. Number two, prosciutto. So there's a link down in the description to Sylvia's video where she baked her prosciutto first to get it good and crispy. We're going to do it a little bit different way. We're going to do it out on our griddle. Number three, an incredible sauce, which is going to be a combination of chipotles and adobo and honey. Number four, brie cheese. So what I did different here was, these just came off the smoker. So I just turned on my smoker fan, did not ignite the pellets. I put a smoke tube in there, filled that full of pellets, lit that. These have smoked at about, we're in Arizona, so I imagine the inside of a grill here, even when it's 90 outside, is probably 130 degrees. They smoked at 130 degrees. They still have their integrity here, so I'm going to be able to slice those and get those on the sandwiches. That's where the similarities between the two sandwiches end. One of them is going to have mozzarella cheese and sliced apples. The second one is going to have some shredded Monterey Jack, and this was shredded in my food processor, bought the block and shredded it because I care about the people that I cook for. And for the texture, I have cut a bunch of planks of jicama. If you haven't had jicama before, it doesn't really have much of a flavor to it, but it is the texture that's there. It's sort of a texture that's a cross between water chestnuts and bamboo shoots. Not quite as crispy as water chestnuts, but not as chewy as bamboo shoots. So where I love to have both of those in my fried rice and a lot of my stir-fry cooking, this is going to give us a little bit of crunch to our sandwich. Let's get going. As you've seen, I've already cut up my jicama. I've already shredded the Monterey Jack. I've smoked the brie. We're going to cut that into some slices before we head out to the griddle. We're going to get our bread buttered before we go out to the griddle. The mozzarella cheese. For this sandwich, you don't want to use the pre-shredded stuff. You never want to use that if you can avoid it. And that is also low moisture mozzarella. What I have here is fresh mozzarella. We're going to cut that into some slices to put that onto our sandwich. I waited till the last minute to cut my apples too because I didn't want them to turn brown on me. But before we do that, we're going to make the sauce that goes on both of them. It's simply equal parts chipotles and adobo and honey. So we'll get some honey into our bowl here. Ooh. And then our chipotles and adobo. And just simply mix that up. And then we'll use a basting brush to get that onto our sandwich. Now, I'm going to do this outside on my Blackstone griddle. You can certainly do it inside on a skillet, a cast iron skillet. If you have a griddle that fits your stove, you can absolutely do it inside if you want. But it is an absolutely beautiful day here in the Valley of the Sun. So I'm going to cook outside on my griddle. And it gives me more room so I can do more stuff at the same time. Go ahead and prep up some of that brie, and we're going to do that by cutting that into thin slices that we will lay onto our sandwich. And that is going to give us some super gooiness on our grilled cheese sandwich, which makes your soul happy. We'll go ahead and get some apple sliced up, enough for at least one sandwich. You can take the skin off if you want. I don't think that's necessary for our sandwich today. And then we will get our mozzarella ready. Get that into some thin slices. All right, all the prep work is done. Now we go out to the griddle. All right, so we already have our first lesson learned. So when I decided I wanted to cook this, the way we normally do our menus is over the weekend, I will figure out everything that I want to cook over the next week. That way I can make one grocery list that covers everything. So in my head, I know what I want, but I don't always describe it correctly. And the girls go out, they get the groceries, and I don't get exactly what I want. Totally my fault. So the prosciutto. I got plenty of prosciutto, but it is absolutely paper thin. So to take one slice of that paper thin and get it on the griddle and try and get that crisped up without destroying it is going to be very, very difficult. So what I've done is I've grabbed a good 5 or 6 of them together. We'll cook those all together so it has a little bit more structure to it and get those crisped up. So that is our next step. The griddle's good and hot. So now I'm going to lay down my prosciutto. And we're basically going to cook this like we would bacon. Going to let it go on one side for a while, give it a flip, see if we like the crispiness or not, and keep flipping it and cooking it until we're where we want to be. Now I have my griddle turned down to the lowest setting because, one, prosciutto is expensive. We don't want to burn it or screw it up. Number two, when we go to make those sandwiches, we want that sandwich to be on the griddle as long as we can to make sure we get all that cheese melted without burning the bread. Okay, now it's time to put it all together. So first thing we're going to do is get our bread onto the griddle. So both of them get brie. So we're going to get that taken care of. They both get the honey chipotle sauce. Not go too crazy with it. Just get a good amount on there. All right, so one gets some jicama slices. The other gets some apple slices. The apple slices get some mozzarella. Well, they both get prosciutto. Yes, the neighbor is cleaning his yard with the leaf blower. So the sandwich with the apple gets some mozzarella, and the sandwich with the jicama gets some shredded Monterey Jack. Ingredients are on. Get the tops on both of those, and then we toast. We're trying to get the bread toasted and the cheese melted is what we're doing right now. Check your bread a few times. You don't want to go to this extreme and put that expensive prosciutto on there and then screw it up, right? So don't be afraid to check your bread. Don't be afraid to flip these a couple times if that's what it takes. If you do have a griddle, you should have a tool like this, a lid to put over your sandwiches to help that cheese melt, trap all that heat in there. Okay, sandwiches are off the griddle. Let's give these a try. Hey, before we do, if you're liking what you're seeing, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button and the bell, and you'll know when we release every one of our episodes. We really do appreciate your support. Hey, what is your favorite grilled cheese? Do you use a different method? You probably do. Put it down in the comments. Maybe we'll give it a try. We would love to hear it. All right, so let's give these a try. So this is the apple and mozzarella one. Give this a bite. The saltiness of the prosciutto and the sweetness of the apple absolutely complement each other. That's a winner. Let's try the one that is Monterey Jack and jicama. Surprising to me, the jicama also gives a slight sweet flavor that, as I said, complements the saltiness of the prosciutto perfect. So definitely a big winner. Hey, Sylvia at the Silly Kitchen, thank you for the inspiration. Galley of the Sun viewers, make sure you go check out her channel. If you're having a rough day, her personality will bright up your whole day and change it. So give that a shot. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, fair winds and following seas.